If I were only to describe one problem with Duet Night Abyss, I think the attack doesn't carry weight. It's not satisfying, there's no impact frames when you attack an enemy, and enemy kind of just don't exist. Ever since the announcement that Duet Night Abyss is no longer going to be a gacha-focused game, it became one of the biggest games on my radar, and it was a game that I was really excited for. I've been streaming and playing gacha game for 4 years, and I just got so sick and tired of gacha after a certain point, and as a result, I became a fanboy VTuber instead. And while Duet Night Abyss did end up removing the gachas and has the potential to become a really good game similar to Anime Warframe, I think in the end, I wouldn't quite say I was disappointed, but I think I felt unsatisfied playing the game. So with that being said, this is going to be my completely 100% honest, unsponsored review of Duet Night Abyss. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing, it is free, and I'm going to be debuting my full VTuber model in just 2 weeks, so see you guys there. Duet Night Abyss, for the most part, being compared to Anime Warframe, I think is a perfect description. Now, it's nothing bad about the game itself. In fact, it's a very good comparison because Warframe is a very good game. It's one of the most successful anime hack and slash on the market right now, and it still continues to be one of the most successful hack and slash on the market. Duet Night Abyss features a very cool and very animated open world with a lot of interactable objects as well as mini-game. You can talk to NPC, raise your charisma, and unlock certain things and stuff like that. And while all of these little things certainly add to the atmosphere of the worlds, to me they more feels like barrier to the next gameplay, the barrier to the next quest. In order for me to advance in the game, to advance to the next mission, I have to go through a bunch of meaningless quests and dialogue. Now I know that is a very selfish thing to say. I know someone out there probably find the story really good and really fun, but for me, it's a person who is coming into this game for the exciting or quote-unquote potentially exciting gameplay of the hack and slash, these other main story quests and stuff like that just feels like a barrier until I can get to the fun part. This becomes more and more apparent as you observe the overwhelming amount of button and menu and currency and stuff like that. I was getting so lost in the menu, so lost in the sauce. And this makes sense because this game was originally designed from the ground up to be a mobile gacha game. Just because they took out the gachas element doesn't mean that they have changed every single thing. There's still a lot of area where it's apparent that it was originally designed to be a mobile gachas game, including the menu navigation and stuff like that. At the end of the day, yes, they took out the gachas, but it still feels like a mobile gachas game. They simply removed the gachas element, but all the other part remained because, well, you can expect that they couldn't just redevelop everything from the ground up. And this is a problem because for a game that is supposed to focus on gameplay, there surely is a lot of barriers prevent you from actually playing the game and getting to the fun part of the game, which is, you know, something like dungeon crawling, something like grinding up your characters and stuff like that. Coming into the actual gameplay itself, it reassembled Warframe a lot. Once again, you have your typical mission where you go in and protect something, kill a bunch of mobs. You pretty much just fight whatever comes into your way. It's like a, again, mob hack and slash where you just kill a bunch of enemy and stuff like that. Now, full disclaimer, this is not my type of game anymore as I've gotten too old and I grew over it. However, 10 years ago, I did really enjoy Warframe, the hack and slash, going through a mission, finding and extracting something, and I'm sure I will once again have fun with this kind of game if I were to be as young as I was. I think the game mode probably has a lot of potential if they make it like a map where you go through, kill a bunch of enemy, and then extract like a secret envelope to get out and stuff like that, which was exactly what made the original Warframe really fun as well. My biggest problem here with Duet Night Abyss is that the gameplay and the combat itself feels very unsatisfying, and as I've mentioned at the beginning of the video, your attack just doesn't feel like it carries weight at all. When you kill enemy, when you hit enemy, there's no feedback. It doesn't really feel like you're doing a lot. It more feels like things are just flopping over when you breathe over them. Mission doesn't feel satisfying because it doesn't really feel like you're going for a horde of enemy. You're kind of just pressing button and they're just dying and stuff like that. And I think a lot of these has to do with the limitation of a mobile game. Keep in mind that at the end of the day, this game were designed to be a mobile gacha game from the ground up. So as a result, there must be a lot of design influence and limitation when it comes down to all of these things, including the only allowance of a short mission, since mobile game is about 5 to 10 minute gameplay, instead of going through like a 10 to 20 minute mission. It doesn't really have that feeling of, oh, I'm going through an apocalypse, there's so many enemies stopping me trying to get this envelope, and I finally made it through. It's more just like, wow, that's it, I got it, and then you got the material. As people would describe, the satisfying part of this game is the power fantasy of being able to fight through an enemy of horror meaningfully and then getting through it and be like, I'm so cool, I'm the hero. But when the enemy just flop over, when your skills and your ultimate or your attack carry no weight, there's no impact. It doesn't feel satisfying. It feels like things are just disappearing off the screen rather than you actually killing them. And I know this has the potential to change in endgame when we face higher difficult enemy, but I think it's a fundamental problem of the design itself. The VFX and the stuff and the impact is just not quite there. I think the main appeal and the main gameplay loop of hack and slash is to get your characters strong, so strong to the point where you can crush your enemies, kind of like defeating a horror with ease kind of thing. But with this game already starting out like that, then you ask yourself, what is the point of me trying to level up my characters? To crush enemy that I'm already crushing? What I need, I think, for a game like this is to have a reverse difficulty curve, where the beginning of the game is very hard, and as you approach the end game, it becomes very easy. As you have developed your character to be so strong with like unlimited cooldowns, unlimited ultimate, easy like chain attack, you can destroy a bunch of enemy in ease. However, in the beginning of the game, it should feel opposite. When you have no upgrade, when you have stuff like that, you should have a immediate challenge right away where you're like, damn, there's a lot of enemies and it's hard for me to get through it. I need to go upgrade my character so I can get through these enemies easier. The power fantasy of these kind of games is for people to make so overpowered build at the end, like 100% damage reduction Rhino and Warframe, so that you can't ever get damaged, super ninja sprinting across the map, which obviously were not accessible at the beginning, but it gives a reason, it gives a goal for you to chase for. When the game started out easy and not satisfying at the beginning of the game, I can't see people stick until the end where it might get hard, which is exactly where I have in the game. I'm sure the end game is not as easy as what the beginning of the game has shown, but it just doesn't seem promising, and if the journey to the end game is not fun and not satisfying, I'm not sure how many people are going to be willing to stick it out to the end. And again, I feel like a lot of these were just fragment of the original mobile gachas game. They developed this game as a mobile gachas game, they took out the gachas, but the rest of the elements were still the same. Toss me a difficult mission at the beginning, show me the potential of the game, show me why I should continue playing the game and upgrading my characters so that I can eventually destroy this enemy in ease. However, more importantly, also give me a path to get there right now. But instead, what I'm met with is enemy that doesn't really carry weight, and main story quests with a bunch of dialogue that I don't really care, so it just feels more like a difficult or barriers to where I'm trying to get to. Overall, I can see the potential in Duet Night Abyss, but I really think it missed the mark as a traditional hack and slash. And again, I feel like a lot of these were just really influenced by the fact that originally it was not designed to be like that. It was designed to be a mobile gachas game, and they took out the gachas, but a lot of the reminiscent and a lot of the original mobile gacha game elements still remain. Hack and slash are supposed to be a power fantasies where the player keep on leveling, get their character so strong that they can eventually come and destroy horror and horror of enemy with ease. Kind of like, hey, watch how easy I can get through these missions. But the problem is that in Duet Night Abyss, because of the way mobile gachas game kind of work, maybe enemy just feels so weightless. Your attack doesn't feel like have an impact. Between everything though, I think I'm disappointed that I'm not going to have a proper real anime Warframe to play and look forward to. I was really looking forward to potentially being really addicted and grinding out the game, but look like that's not going to be the case.